Hello everyone out there on YouTube. Today we're going to look at my 1959 Fender Bassman. And as you guys know, this is a really legendary amp. I'm very lucky to own it. And today we're going to take a look inside, see what's been changed, maybe what needs to be changed. And I hope to show you guys some cool stuff that you may have never seen and some of the Fender folklore that goes along with it. Maybe you guys pick up a few tips along the way. I'm not an amp technician by any means, but I know a little bit. You guys should also know that working on amps like this is very dangerous and you want to take some precautions. And I'll also link a video down below where I put the amp together and just got it up and running real quick so we could hear how it sounded. Probably a week or two I'm going to officially do a video on the amplifier. So if this is something that you think you might be interested in, please stick around, like and comment what you guys think. I appreciate all you guys who subscribe, really means a lot to me. So let's check it out. Alright, so this is the back of the amp here, and we're going to take off this back cover. This is how you access all the internals of the amp. Alright, as you can imagine, these amps are a little bit fragile, so you got to be careful. I'm pretty confident this is the asbestos material that they used to kind of protect from the heat of the components and everything. So now you guys can see the inside of a 1959 Tweed Bassman. And at first glance here, we can definitely see that some things have been replaced. And that's okay, because I was expecting that. Never use your finger to touch inside of an amplifier like this. The best method is probably using something that's made of wood that doesn't conduct electricity very well. So as you guys can see, the most obvious thing that we've got going on here are the yellow Astron caps. And these came in all of the Tweed amplifiers. They even carried into the brown face era as well, the early 60, 61, I think possibly even later had the yellow Astron capacitors. Maybe I can get this a little bit closer for you guys too. So these capacitors are kind of known for not lasting very long, and the blackface amplifiers that use the blue Mallory capacitors are known for lasting quite a bit longer. And a little cool piece of information that you might not have known, as far as I know, Stevie Ray Vaughan's Vibreverbs had the original blue Mallory capacitors in them, and so if those capacitors survive, then I mean they might be bulletproof. If you look over here, these capacitors have been changed. These would have been the yellow Astron caps. We've got two orange drops here. These are sort of a go-to replacement. This black one over here, to be honest, I'm not quite sure. I'm not educated enough to know where this one came from. As far as I know, this one right here is an Illinois capacitor, which from what I've heard, they're not exactly the best possible replacements, but they'll do the job, I think. All these resistors that you can see here, these are original. Well, at least on this side over here. The tube sockets look original too. Input jacks look original. And all of these pots look original as well. And we have the yellow Astron cap over here on the presence knob. And for those of you guys who don't know, the original Marshall designs, the JTM45 and so on, they were essentially exact copies of this from what I understand. They just used different components that were available overseas. So the two power tube sockets look original, and then these grid resistors have been replaced, which these are known for going bad, but otherwise it looks pretty good, and the work that was done definitely looks like it's been done well. Like if you look at the orange drops right here, the way that they did this wiring, the way that they staggered the orange drops pretty evenly, these are just kind of clues that show you the work was done well. You'll look at a lot of amps that have been kind of hacked up, and the orange drops might be one here, one there, and just kind of twisted up or whatever. Everything here looks like it was done very well, so that's good to see. Real quickly, I'm going to turn this amp on and see if I can get it to make the noise that it was making. I was getting a rattling noise at high volume, and I think I've diagnosed that, but I want to check on that. One more thing that I did not mention in the original video that you can find down below is that this tube actually right here is supposed to be a 12AY7. If you go back and watch that video, from what I remember, this amp came with 3 12AX7s, which is wrong. And if you check out the tube chart down here, which I will show you guys, it's supposed to have a 12AY7 here in the V1. So I'm going to plug this in real quick and see if I can get it to make that noise. We're going to go ahead and flip the standby off. So now we are live here. You can hear the pots are a little bit scratchy, and this is basically turned up halfway, and you can hear that the amp is pretty quiet, so that's really good. Just for kind of like basic diagnosing, guys, if you have any weird noises going on, rattling or distorted sounds, you know, take a piece of wood or something and kind of touch around in your amp, and if you find something that's making a noise, then you might have a problem there. Like I said, I was playing this amp at higher volumes and I was getting a really rattly noise, and I think I've diagnosed it as one of these tubes. So you can just kind of knock them and see if you get any kind of weird microphonic noise. I don't hear anything. You can take these covers off. So that's pretty quiet. So you hear this one? There's something wrong there. And when I was turning this amp up pretty loud, that tube was making a really horrific noise. So I've got a replacement here. People ask me all the time, what kind of tubes do I use? And when I can, I use tongue saw, and that's a recommendation that I got from my buddy Nick. So I'm honestly not very knowledgeable in tubes, and that's a whole nother area of guitar amps that people get into. I use tongue saw. It seems to be good, and like I said, I use them because of Nick. So if you're having tube trouble, you might get some good tongue saw tubes and see how they work for you. Alright, so I put that replacement tube in the V1 position, and we're going to see what kind of noise we get out of it. So as you can see, it's just a normal noise that you would hear out of a tube. So that Ruby tube is no good, and from what a lot of people have told me, honestly, the Ruby tubes are just not the best quality. Alright, so now that you guys have checked out all of the electronics in here, I want to check out the filter caps and also the transformers, show you guys some cool stuff there. So I have to pull out the chassis to be able to do that, so bear with me here. Alright guys, so it's a bit of a bitch to get the chassis out of this thing, but here we are, and we can finally take a look at it here. So what's really special about this amplifier, goes along with the folklore of the Fender Bassman, is the output transformer that, as you can see here, is quite a heavy-duty piece of equipment and has this number at the top here, 45249. This has kind of become labeled as the legendary output transformer of the Bassman. The high-powered Tweed also has a legendary output transformer that is massive. Those amplifiers are crazy rare and expensive. Joe Bonamassa uses them. I think they're probably $10,000 to $20,000 range. So this is all just really cool stuff, and if you're gonna have an original Bassman, these are the parts that you want to see here. Whether it really makes a difference in the tone or not, I can't say for sure, but as far as collectability goes, this is definitely what you want to see. So the filter caps are located under this cover right here, and it's kind of an interesting design. I just want to take it off and check out really quickly if they have been replaced or not. I will give you guys a close-up, but these have definitely been replaced, and it looks like with the Illinois capacitors, which isn't exactly what I wanted to see, but they will do the job. Alright guys, so I'm going to put this thing back together, and I'm not going to bore you with that, but hopefully you learned something new today and got to check out something that's very cool and a piece of Fender history. So I think I will just have somebody look at this and make sure everything is running smoothly, that nothing else needs to be replaced, so that I can play it. And I will do a full demo on this thing either next week or the following week. So I hope you guys dig it. Like I said, please comment and let me know what you guys think. Really appreciate everybody on this channel. It means a lot to me. So take it easy out there. Keep playing, all right? Peace.